A couple other error codes that we'll talk about will be the E-200 and the E-205. Now the E-200 we'll cover first, and that's going to be in regards to our SD card located on our I/O board. So if we take a look up here, we'll see that there is an SD card right here on top of the I/O board. So right here we can see our SD card located on top of our I/O board, and the kind of troubleshooting we want to do here is making sure the unit is powered completely down. But what we're going to do is we're going to want to remove that SD card, and you can see when I pushed in on it, it was spring loaded and popped it out. Now this is where we can pull it out and clean these contacts that you can see right there on the SD card. We want to be very careful in cleaning those, making sure that we don't mess those up, and then we can reinsert our SD card back into the slot. We can power the unit back up and go ahead and see if that resolves the error. If not, we want to try a new SD card before we go and replace the I/O board. However, if cleaning those contacts or replacing the SD card did not take care of the problem, then we're going to wind up needing a new I/O board. Now the other error code that we talked about was the E-205, and that's going to be in regards to our USB. So basically when that error code comes up, it's telling us that the control does not read or write whatever USB information we're either trying to import or export. Now a quick note that we want to be aware of is to make sure that we have that zipped file properly extracted. Also, we want to make sure that we are using a 2.0 type USB. And then also we want to make sure that we're using a quality USB stick like a SanDisk or something along those lines. So if all that is well and good, then we can get into our troubleshooting, and we might have an issue with our actual USB cable that if we take a look inside here, we'll see how this USB cable comes right from where we were at up front, and it comes right over here to the back of our control board. So what we could actually do is we could unplug this USB cable, and we could try to put our USB directly into the control. Then we could try and see if that took care of the error code if we were either trying to import or export. If that still didn't take care of the issue, then we could jump to our back control and try the same thing on the USB port right here. So if it did work on this control, but it did not work on this front one, then we know we have an issue with this control, and we can proceed with potentially replacing it. So that's kind of what it would look like to troubleshoot the E-205 error code. So those are a couple of the items of what it would look like to troubleshoot that 205 error code. Remember, we could have possibly a bad USB cable or maybe even a bad control itself. So those are a couple items that we might want to take to the job site if we're seeing those error codes, is a cable and a control.